Hello everybody, Joshino here, and today I'm doing a very quick little guide for new players and the new update in this patch for Planetside 2, where they're giving new players 100 certification points at every level up to level 15. So you're going to be getting a big lump sum of certs, and I really want to push the point that weapons in Planetside 2 are side grades. So a lot of the weapons that you have unlocked at default are the best in their class. For example, the NC's Carbine I personally think is the best in the game, the Mercenary, and the, for example, the VS Heavy Assault LMG, which is the Orion, which is a fast-firing LMG, and that is probably the best LMG in the game. And most of the weapons are general all-rounders and can just be used in any situation. A lot of the weapons are for specialising or just for fun. And what I'd say for a new player is not to focus on these weapons straight away, but going for little side grades and things that make you more competitive. For example, it's almost always better to get level 3 or 4 in a lot of the stats that you have passive in your loadouts. And I'll go through a few of those so you understand better. So one of the big ones that I always mention is jump jets. Basically, if you want to play light assault, the level 1 of the jump jets isn't enough to get you over most walls or get you up onto, well, climbing anything really, because as a light assault you want to be getting on top of buildings, on top of walls or whatever. Level 1 of jump jets just isn't good enough. I'd personally suggest that you go up to level 3 or 4 at first, and then perhaps if you want to play light assault more, keep leveling that up. Similarly, just going through the classes. For example, the medic, it's very important to have a better medic tool. For example, if you revive somebody, they revive with more health, and also you'll heal people quicker. And if you want to play medic seriously, then revive grenades are quite important, because basically they are one of the biggest strategic things in the game, where you throw or spam these revive grenades into a point, and you'll res a large swathe of your teammates because they can res more than one person at once. It's like an AoE resurrection. An engineer, one of the most important things is having tank mines, which are basically the #1 destroyer of tanks and vehicles, and they basically do what they say on the tin. They're tank mines, they blow up tanks. As with the medic, the repair tool is quite important to cert up, because if you're going to be using a tank a lot, you want to be able to repair your tank quicker, and having level 3 or 4 is quite a jump over level 1. And then coming back to light assault, you can look at changing your playstyle by putting some money towards some of your certs towards C4. So if you want to play light assault a lot and you've got your jump jets, you might want to have a look at getting some C4 so that you can blow up tanks. And you need 2 of them to blow up tanks really, because 1 won't kill them. And with vehicles, almost if you're going to be a lone wolf and you've not really got a squad yet and you're just playing on your own and you like to just play a bit casually, fire suppression is almost a godsend on most vehicles. Basically it does a little bit of a repair without you needing to get out and be in harm's way and try and repair it, and it can save you. Well, it saved me countless times where I've been able to retreat. I've been able to quickly fire suppress and retreat. With air vehicles, it's especially important to cert into the extended magazines, because basically being able to fire longer makes you so much more competitive in the air. If you want to fight with nose guns, that is, there are other options, for example lock-ons if you feel you're not skilled enough in the air, but that's another story and something that I wouldn't like to advocate. Another small side grade for vehicles is ammo count, because you'll very quickly notice that your ammo depletes very fast at the early levels, but putting a few into the levels of your maximum ammo won't cost a lot, and it will actually have a massive benefit. Medkits on infantry is another thing which can save your life. Instead of having a utility, for example like a C4 and a light assault or a tank mine engineer, you can have medkits which keep you going longer. They're basically little heals for yourself, so especially for light assaults and heavy assaults, when you're just pushing on your own, or you're going a bit, you're fighting and you want to heal yourself, then use a medic kit. Also, on a lot of the classes, it's advisable to level up nano weave armor or advanced shield regen just to a few levels up, because they're slightly advantageous as well. They make your shield regen faster, or you have more health basically. And just a few levels in those can be quite advantageous for very cheap certs. So as with everything else, probably level up to 3 or 4 and then carry on leveling it up when you're ready. And with the infiltrator, for example, inserting into the infiltrator cloak keeps it going for longer, and that's quite important. But also the recon darts are really important for the infiltrator, because you're looking at the map trying to work out where other people are, and because you have lower health, you rely on jumping out at people and taking people by surprise. So you need to be able to see on the map, and basically the recon darts are radar spheres that show up enemy activity, and having all the motion spotter, having either of those certed up can be very important for the infiltrator. Similarly, if you want to play heavy assault a lot, I'd cert into one line of the shields. Personally, I just go for the default nanite mesh shield, but it's up to your preference. I might just play around with the level 1s of each one and see what you think of each one. Another thing to mention is that maxes have one anti-infantry and one anti-tank weapon, and whilst they're perfectly usable as a max, but it is a lot more effective if you buy an extra anti-infantry weapon or an anti-vehicle weapon on your max with certification points. And there are cheaper options on each of the factions, and you'll be able to see which one's a cheaper option on the weapons. And basically, if you get 2 anti-infantry guns, you're going to be a lot better at taking on infantry. There is the anti-air option, but I'm fairly sure that it's 1,000 certs. So, whilst it is good to be quite the anti-air max, and it plays an important role often in bases against air crashes, it's a lot of certs, and that's probably a bit too much of a commitment early game. And then finally, if you do want to have a bit more variation in your weapons, you want to try specialising, there are weapons that are a lot cheaper than the other ones. So not every weapon is 1,000 certs. For example, I think the Serpent on the VS side is a lot cheaper than all the other weapons. It used to be 250 certs. I don't know how it's been changed after the patch. I've got to check that actually. But there's quite a few guns that are a bit cheaper, so if you actually are like, well, I want a little bit of a different feeling gun, then you can pick something like that. So anyway, does anyone else have any more suggestions for new players? I thought I'd just get this out there quickly so that new players aren't just going in there, they're not going out and buying a GD7F at level 10 and then realising that they've wasted all of their certification points, and they're quite at a disadvantage because they haven't certed into their abilities. So yeah, that is sort of the conclusion. You want to set into your abilities so that you are on an even playing field with everybody, and then from that point, then you can start getting lots of kills and healing people or whatever, and then raking in the certification points. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know the jazz, everybody. Until next time, Joshino.